Ow! Ah! Oh, why do they call them baby teeth when that hurts that damn bad? Ah! So we've got the fuel system complete mechanically. I've got to actually wire up the fuel pump relay, but for now, I found the this is a test connector here that has a tan white wire here. If you apply 12 volt here and ground here, the pump kicks on. So I'm not going to use this for wiring, or I'm not going to wire the fuel pump relay to this wiring just because it's really small. We're going to run a new wire, but for now I can use it for testing. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some fuel in the gas tank, and then we're going to power on the fuel pump using the power probe, and we're just going to use that to test it to make sure that all the fuel lines are good and not leaking. Once we get that all done and that's situated, we're going to bleed the clutch out, and then once that's done, we're going to push the truck out. So at this point, the truck just needs a ton of wiring done. So we have the harness here that was pre-made, but we've got to actually start connecting things. So the harness has like the built-in fuse box here that should have like key on and stuff like that all wired in, but that connector's on the inside. So I've got to figure that out. Another thing that we've got to do is we still need to situate drive-by-wire, but it's not a big deal. So we need to just be able to get the truck with the fuel pump working and it cranking and getting spark and injector signal. We've got the little jumper harness thingy for the EV1 to the Denso injector, so that's already done there. So we're at that point is once we do some bare minimal wiring, this thing should actually get ready to start up. Now, we are running, for those who do not know, we are running a Fueltech here. So the Fueltech is pretty cut and dry. It almost makes everything in a standalone application, meaning that if we were to take this motor out and put it on an engine stand, the Fueltech should be able to get it to run. The one thing that it did not have though is there's not a relay for the starter, as far as I can tell. So we're eventually going to have to do that as well for start signal, but for now we've got it jumped, and we've got like a bare wire inside that we were using to apply power to get it to crank. Eventually that wire is going to go to the ignition switch. We're just not there yet. So yeah. All right, so we had a couple of fuel leaks that we fixed, just a couple of loose AN fittings, so nothing crazy there. We tried to bleed the clutch and we ended up having to get a new master. So new master's in, we've got good pedal pressure. So this one is ready to get pushed out, and then I can start doing the wiring on it. Alrighty folks, I am back at it with the 3UZ GMC truck. Now, you're gonna see that I've got my heat shrink label maker. Ow! Ah! Oh, why do they call them baby teeth when that hurts that damn bad? Ah! All right, so after I got done doing my whole Peter Griffin bit, okay, so this harness is a little on the goofy side here. Just to give you guys a little bit of backstory, this car originally was supposed to run the stock ECU. And then he decided to go turbo and decided to add a Fueltech. So we originally had the harness made by Tim over at v8.com, and then we sent the harness off to get modified by SVG, and both guys did wonderful jobs as far as I can tell. So the DT connectors are all on SVG side. This is all the Toyota V8 side. So the thing about it is that Tim didn't put any of this wiring in his documentation. I have zero idea what any of these are. I don't know where they go, but what I do know is that one of these is the starter signal. Since we were able to jump the automatic transmission switch to get to the starter, we got that all figured out. I don't remember what color that is, but it doesn't matter. What we need to do is figure out what these wires are, and we need to know the bare minimum. So there should be fuel pump harness, starter harness, EFI main relay, and then like things like key on power and things like that. So we've got to figure out what these are at. The good news is that on the relay box, let's see here. So this is the relay box here, and Tim tells you what relay is which. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically reference his labeling for whatever these relays are, and then from there I can go through and then figure out what wires do what. Then I have to verify that on the other side of it for the Fueltech side. So that's why we've got our handy dandy Fluke multimeter out, and then our label maker. That way I can go ahead and make labels on what is what. Here's the bottom side of the fuse panel here, which looks pretty crazy, but it really isn't. So I can basically already tell you that it looks like all the bottom pins, yeah, it seems like all the bottom pins are our output wires, meaning that when the relay activates, it sends power out. And it looks like the 30 pin at the top is all fuse related powers, as far as I can tell. There's one in here that is normally closed, so I'm not sure what relay that's for, but we're gonna have to figure this all out. So this is our photo here. These are our relays, and yes, it does look really confusing to people who don't know, but what we're gonna do is, just to make this a little bit easier for us, is that we're gonna basically isolate each one of these one at a time. So I'm going to start with the hard ones, which are the two EFI main relays here. Then I'll work down the two fuel pump ones and find the starter. Starter's easiest. So I'm not sure why there's two EFI main relays, but let's see here. So my assumption is that the main relays, 1 and 2, one's for the ECU and the other maybe coils and fuel. Oh yeah, main 2 fuel pump fuse. So that's this one. So this is our fuel fuse rather. Okay, so there's a little bit of working with that we're gonna have to kind of figure out here. And like I said, we don't really care about most of it, or we do care about it, but our main goal is just to find out what the wires on the inside are for off that one connector. All right, so it looks like the main relays, number 1 and number 2, share a gray wire. Then we've got fuel pump number 1, which is a yellow white wire, and fuel pump number 2 is a brown yellow wire. So I'm not sure what the thinking is on these two, and then the starter is red. So in the documentation it says that the fuel pump relay has a oil pressure switch which will be bypassed during cranking. So this one is normally closed here, or normally connected, excuse me. So that means that this relay is connected until it gets signal to break the connection. So I'm assuming that yellow white is the oil pressure switch that he talks about, and then that the normal one is just going to be this brown yellow wire that I have for fuel pump relay number 2. And this could be easily reduced as well. The reason is that because it's a Fueltech, if the Fueltech doesn't have RPM, it doesn't turn off. It'll automatically turn off the fuel pump. So we could easily omit that, and that will be good. Starter is a little on the goofy side though. There's a neutral position switch here that we had to basically jump, which are these two large ones here, and then that in turn should give us cranking power. I'll have to double check with Andrew, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Andrew and I actually sat down and figured it out a while back. That's how we were able to crank it to get fuel pressure out of it. So what I'm gonna do now, I think, is I'm gonna hook up the battery and then maybe apply power to that and see if the Fueltech turns on or not, and then we go from there. So I'm gonna verify it really quick though. I'm just gonna jump the main relay output wire. So the main relay wiring obviously has power, so when the relay comes on, it kicks power over. That should give us our key on power, and I can just verify that really quick by just checking the pins of the Fueltech to the fuse box. So I'll probably end up doing that really quick here, since it won't take me too long. All right, so I've been doing some troubleshooting after getting some of the wires figured out. So these wires are basically power and ground to just kind of like get it to key on, which I got. The problem is that we're not getting RPM signal. So this is a UZ car, so it's a 36-1. I got it set up in the Fueltech, but when we go to crank it, we don't get any RPM. So I went ahead and first and foremost, I checked the wires. I checked for continuity from end to end. It's a VR sensor, so there's only 2 wires, and both of those wires go directly into the Fueltech. So I did a continuity check on it real quick, and it had continuity. So this is the crank wiring here. I ordered a new sensor I didn't install it, I just put a new sensor in it just because I thought that was a problem. So after doing all that, we still do not have crank trigger signal. I took the sensor, and like you guys may have seen it from the Honda Beat video, but I put the sensor into the harness and I got a lug nut and I tapped it into it and still couldn't simulate RPMs at all. So when I look at the oscilloscope though, if I can pull it up. So when I pull up the oscilloscope, you can see here, so this is going to be a fresh scope, I think. Okay, never mind. So now I have an oscilloscope running, and this is the crank trigger, I think. But you can see that there's a lot of noise on whatever this is on orange. So I went ahead and I followed this down, and I think I may have found the problem. So this is the cam and crank sensor wires that he's got ran through a DT connector, but you can see that he cut the wires and removed the shield. So now we only have half of a shield going through the harness. So the rest of the wire all the way up from here to the ECU, or from here to the engine, is no longer shielded. And I wonder if that's going to be, if that's our problem there, or we've got a bad connection or something. Now I pulled out the DT connectors and I took a look at them, and they seem to be okay to me, but it, like I said, it acts like it just doesn't have like a good connection, or there's a lot of noise in it. So yeah, see, so even with it unplugged just straight to the Fueltech, you can see that we still got some noise on the line. So I don't know what the problem is, but we're gonna have to figure it out.